record to the computer, and we should be able to get started. Guys, so on today's call, today's a leadership call. I'm super excited for today's leadership call. Listen, I don't know how long we're gonna go. I wanted this call to really set you up to close out this month of January, right? I told a couple of leaders, I said, hey, I want to touch up on taprooting, but I ended up deciding that I wanted to touch up on 4 different subjects, right? So today's call, we're gonna go on belief, we're gonna go on leadership, we're gonna go on taprooting, and then I'm gonna close this out with whiteboard magic. But here's the thing, I need every single person here that's on today's call to commit to staying on the whole entire call. Because here's the thing, this call is gonna set you up, but it's only gonna set you up if you stay on for the entire call. I'm gonna make a couple of the leaders here co-hosts so you guys can help me out with the people that are coming in, and continue to go ahead and promote this call. Let your teams know, right? Let them know that we are live right now. I'm gonna go ahead and make one more person co-host, and we're gonna go ahead and start this. But like I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, guys, for this call to make sense, what you guys need to do is you need to stay on for the whole entire call. I want you guys to drop on the chat box, I commit, if you're going to commit to staying on the entire call. Because here's the thing, you're going to need all 4. You see, it's not just going to be just needing the belief or just the leadership or even just the whiteboard magic, right? Or even through taprooting, you're going to need all 4. So if you're ready to commit to being on the entire call, I want you to drop, I commit. I commit. Let's go ahead and start this call off. I think it's only right to start off this call with a live shot. So if you guys have your live shots with you, right, go ahead and take them out. We're gonna take in a live. I know we got some guests here on this call that I invited. If you don't know what this is the Alive drink. Guys, turn your cameras on for the call. This is a leadership call. I see Josh on here. He's about to get his Alive. Josh, I think you made your first sale today, right? You made your first your second sale on a live. Big shout out to you, my bro. Hold on, I'm gonna unmute you real quick. I see you on here. You're the first one that turned your camera on. How do you feel? You made your first your second Alive sale. How do you feel, bro? I'm gonna take a cheers to that.
I feel good, man. Like, you know, it's a former buddy of mine from a former company I was talking to about Alive, and he was like, yeah, dude, I'll be a customer. So I followed up today, and he was like, hey, dude, I just placed my order. So it was pretty cool, man.
Let's go. And where are you from?
I'm from Twin Falls, Idaho, guys.
From Idaho. My boy's from Idaho, making sales from Idaho. Thank you, Josh, for jumping on here. Appreciate you. I know you made your sale today, your second sale. So congratulations. Let's go ahead and drop some congratulations for Josh here on the chat.
Thank you, guys.
I'm super excited for you, man, and all the success that you're going to have here at Envision You. But guys, today's call is gonna be simply on leadership. It's gonna be simply on helping you guys take your business to the next level. I know I made some of you guys co-host some of the leaders on here, so if you guys can help me with welcoming all the brand new people that are getting on this call, I would definitely appreciate it. Because if not, I'm gonna have to do it. But if not, it's all good. I will do it. But I made some of you guys co-hosts to help me out on it. So like I was saying, today's call, guys, we're gonna go over 4 different pillars, right, on really closing out this month. But guys, this is gonna be like, it's gonna be a never-ending cycle. If you can master, right, if you can master all 4 of these, I promise you, you won't just be a champion, but you will be a champion creator. You will be a diamond in this company. These are the 4 pillars that I promise you that will create massive momentum in your organization. If you're looking to create massive momentum, drop momentum here on the chat box. If you're looking to create massive momentum in your organization, I want you to drop momentum here on the chat box. Because what we're going to do in this call is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bless everyone here today, right? I'm going to bless everyone here today. Is that a deal? Drop deal in the chat box. Drop deal in the chat box if you're ready to be blessed. If you're ready to be blessed, but here's what it's going to take to be blessed. It's to stay for the entire call. I'm going to wrap this call up with the whiteboard magic, right? So the 4 things that we're going to be touching on today: belief, leadership, taprooting, okay? And then the whiteboard magic. Those are the 4 things. Is going to stay commitment. We're probably going to go for 5 hours. No, I'm just kidding. But however long this call goes, I'm going to try to keep it within an hour to an hour and 30. But it's gonna really be deep. And I promise you, you're gonna come out of this call completely different, right? You're gonna come out of this call ready to close out the month of January. You're gonna come out of this call ready to become a champion. But it's gonna take all 4, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna take belief, it's gonna take leadership, it's gonna take taprooting, and it's gonna take the whiteboard magic. So I need everybody to be on here, connected, ready to go, cameras on, notebooks out, and we're gonna go ahead and rock and roll, right? So the first one, right? The first pillar, first connector, right? If you really want to close out this month as a champion, and here real quick, for this first part of the call, I'm talking to all the people who are not a champion right now, right? If you're not a champion, I want you to drop on the chat box right now, I am a champion. Because the goal is to really help you, right, close out the month as a champion. David spoke 10 brand new champions in the month of January, and that's what's going to happen. 10 brand new champions out of this call are going to come alive, and it's going to happen, yes or yes. So if you're not a champion yet, I want you to speak it. I want you to claim it. I want you to seize it. On the chat box, I want you to put, I am a champion. I am a champion, right? And if you're not a champion, you're going to be a champion by the end of this month. At the end of the call, I have 2 big announcements for you, right? So for those that are not a champion yet, I know spiritually it's already done. I know it's already done in the back office by the end of January. But I have 2 big announcements that I'm going to make at the end of the call. So that's another reason that I want you to stay committed to being at the end of the call, right? Being here throughout the call. But the real sauce is going to be the value. Is going to be what I'm going to be going over here on this call. Because if you can take it and you can apply it and you can teach it, right? I promise you 2024, right, you're going to see expansion happening all throughout your business and your organization with these first 4 pillars. So the first one is belief. And I want you to write this down, right? Because with belief, right, what does it do? It makes all things possible, right? When you're in a believing state, it makes all things possible. So when you're believing, you got to understand it's the internal change, right? It's the internal change that is key to change the external things. So if you want to attract champion and you want to go champion, there needs to be internal change, right? But in order for you to have the internal change, you got to first identify and you first got to know who you are, right? And who you are is very simple. You're spirit, and spirit is the word, and the word is spirit. And we draw, ladies and gentlemen, into our lives who we are, right? And I want to go over, right, to create the belief system, 2 things, right, that create change in your belief system, right? When you're believing, there's 2 things that create change. And the first thing I want you to write down is your repeated thoughts is what creates change, right? Your repeated thoughts is what creates change. So the question I have for you today, for all the leaders here on this call, is what are you thinking about all the time, right? The more thoughts that are repeated, right, the more it vibrates at a higher frequency. The more thoughts are repeated, the more it vibrates, the more you vibrate at a higher frequency, right? So that's the first thing, is repeated thoughts. They create change in your results. They create change, right, in your business. Number 2 is the power to prayer, right? The more you do it, guess what? There's a frequency. There's a connection that takes place. And you see, this is what prayer is. Prayer is just you talking to God, right? When you pray, you're talking to God and you're coming to him with 2 things, with thanksgiving and with your request, right? It's in Philippians 4. So when you're in prayer, right, what you're doing is you're talking to God and you're coming to him with, another word for thanksgiving is gratitude. It's like, hey, God, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a brand new champion by January 31st. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am a diamond at Envision You by the Alive Convention, right? You're coming with him with a state of gratitude. You're thanking him for what he's already done and thanking him for what's about to come in advance. And then you're also coming to him with your request, right? You see, when I pray, I love to pray on my knees because guess what? It reminds me of how small I am and that I need something greater than me to help me and to guide me, right? That's why the two things that creates change in your results, creates change in your business, it starts with your belief, ladies and gentlemen. And to create that compelling belief system, to create that unwavering, that unshakable belief, there's two things that you need. You need to have the repeated thoughts, the right repeated thoughts. And then number two is the power in prayer, right? And if you really think about it, you see, your thoughts are your images and your prayer are your words. Because when you pray, what it is that you're doing, you're speaking. So there are words that are coming out, right? There's words that you're speaking. And then your images are your thoughts. It's what you're thinking about. It's the images that you're seeing over and over again, right? Because it's your life that's a direct reflection of what you've been thinking of, right? So there's two things, right? There's two things that create change in our results and in our business. It's the repeated thought patterns. It's the repeated thoughts that you're creating. And then the second one is prayer, is the power in prayer. But then there's two things in your belief as well that make our life what it is that it is, right? It's two things that make our life what they are. The first thing is the conditioning, right? Is the conditioning. And if you look at thoughts and words, they condition you, right? And you can reverse and recondition yourself if you're not speaking the right words, right? And that's the biggest problem. We're not thinking the right thoughts. That's why Aaron Nightingale says thoughts are things, or we become what we think about, right? So we can recondition our mind. We can reverse our thinking, right? And recondition it with the right words and with the right thoughts. But the second most important thing, so the first thing is your conditioning, and then the second thing is your environment, because it reinforces what's around you. So if you're not around the right environment, well, what it's doing is it's not reinforcing, right? It's not reinforcing you to go to the right direction. What you're doing is you're actually pulling yourself away, because if you don't have the right people, if you don't have the right environment, right, that's essential for you to achieve champion, right? For you to achieve the next level, right? So it starts with simply this. It starts with simply forcing and placing your thoughts on the things that you want. You need to be specific. What is it that you want? You need to decide what it is that you want. I'm going to decide this month that I'm going champion. Or if you're already a champion, I'm going to decide this month that I'm going to sapphire. I want you to drop this side on the chat box, because you need to be very specific. Once you understand that, once you simply force and place your thoughts on the things that you want, on what it is that you're believing for, well, guess what? You will begin to start reconditioning yourself. And the third thing is wrapping it up with an environment with people that will support it, right? So that's why being around your mentor, being in communication with your mentor, when you simply force and place your thoughts on the things you want, on champion, right, on sponsoring 8 people, helping 2 people create their dual team. And then the second part is now you're reconditioning yourself with the right words and with the right thoughts. And then the third thing is you're wrapping yourself around the right environment, right? You're getting around the right people. Guess what? You start to become powerful, right? Because you got to first understand who you are, right? You're a spiritual creation. There's 3 elements of us, right? The first one is you got to understand we live in a body. We live in a physical body. And then we possess a soul. So that's your ability to think, right? That's what the soul care is. You see, soul care is not being selfish. Soul care is just stewarding, right? I'm going to think the right thought so I can help more people. And then lastly is we are a spirit. We were made in the image and in the likeness of God, right? So you begin to change when you reprogram your thinking, right, to the things that you want and your goals. That's when things start to change. So it's the 2 things that create change. It's your thoughts and it's your words, right? It's reconditioning yourself and the power in prayer, right? What are your thoughts aligned with? And are your words aligned with those thoughts? Because if you're not thinking about champion all the time, right? The reason why I know for a fact, Johnny's going sapphire is because he's speaking sapphire all the time. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a sapphire. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a sapphire. His thoughts are aligned with sapphire, right? So you got to get your words and your thoughts in alignment, and you're going to start to see change when you reprogram your thinking to do the things you want and to align them with your goals, right? You need to start believing much bigger, much faster. When you believe you were born to do something great, that's when it kicks in and you understand that all things are possible for those who believe, right? I was on the phone with Michael earlier today, and I was talking to two of his leaders. I believe that they're here on this call. And I was talking about, when we come into this business, we got to come in with expectation, right? We got to come with expectation that I already know champion's done. I'm coming into this business knowing champion is done. You see, you need to live life with expectation that great things are coming, right? That great things are going to come. I'm coming into this business expecting champion to happen, right? I'm coming into this business expecting, right, to sponsor 8 brand new people by the time the month ends, right? You have to assume great things, right, that are going to come into your life. And when you do that, guess what? It begins to move towards the things that you want, start to move towards you, right? You start to attract them in your life, but it first starts with this. Write it down. Change your thoughts. When you change your thoughts, it creates enthusiasm. You're excited, right? I know, right? Coach Anna, Darnell, right? They're excited all the time because they know how to control their thoughts. They know how to change their thoughts, right? It's like a light switch. They're able to change their thinking. They're able to say, I'm a champion. Are we going to have negative thoughts, right? Come in? Yes, of course. But it's important for us to take them captive and make it obedient to our goal. Make it obedient, more importantly, to God, right? That's what the truth says. Once you know the truth will set you free. So when you know the truth and you're going to say, yo, I'm going to take my thoughts, I'm going to make it captive, I'm going to make it aligned to my goals. Guess what it's going to do? It's going to increase your vibrations. Is going to increase, is going to create enthusiasm in not just in your business, in how you show up every single day, right? It's an energy frequency that's being created, and then the action starts to come out of you, right? You see, the biggest thing is we're not working on our thoughts. We're not working on our words. And guess what? When we show up, we're showing up, we're doing one call. If nobody answers, you know what, chilling. I'm just going to go back to, what I was doing. Well, no, why? Because we haven't worked on the belief. We haven't worked on reconditioning. We haven't worked on reversing our thought patterns. We haven't focused on speaking the right words. There's power in prayer. Your prayer is your words. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am a champion is a prayer. It's a request. Make all things, right, known to God. Right? That's what you're doing, is you're putting it out there. I am a champion. I'm so happy and grateful. But here's the thing. It's all the time. It's all the time. I know what Johnny's speaking it all the time. I know the top leaders here on this call are speaking it all the time. The reason why they went champion their first month, I bet you they were speaking it over 50 times a day. I guarantee you they were speaking it every single day, right, to their organizations. Why? Because when you change your thoughts and your thoughts are in an alignment to champion, it creates enthusiasm. It creates a fire. It creates a different level of movement that creates an energy frequency that makes you take the action. I want you to write this down. You're doing, so your action comes from your believing, right? It doesn't work the other way around, right? If you want to take massive action, you got to have massive belief. And in order for you to have massive belief, you got to be having the right thoughts. In other words, the right images. What are you pre-playing, right, in the canvas of your imagination, right? What is going through? You should only be picturing, right, how people are going to celebrate you as a champion. You should only be imagining how an extra $2,000 a month can help you right now. You should only be imagining, right, your team celebrating you, being grateful for you as a champion. Those are the type of thoughts, right? And then now the words, once you get your thoughts right, once you get your thinking right, your words will start to move up, right? But you see, this is a lot of the reasons why people don't win. People don't take massive action. You got to take the goal, you got to turn it into a desire, and then you need to move it to intent. You got to take the goal, turn it into a desire. What's a desire? A desire is an obsession. A desire is, I'm going to think about champion all the time. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. It doesn't matter how many no's I get. It doesn't matter what my life looks like right now. It doesn't matter what my bank account says. It doesn't matter what my trading account says. It doesn't matter all the circumstances and the situations I'm going through. I'm going to take the goal and turn it into a desire. Turn it into an obsession, meaning that's what you're thinking about all the time. That's the dominating thought. Champion needs to be the dominating thought. How many days we have left? Like around 8 days left, right? And if you use this throughout the whole year, so once you go champion, you do the same thing for Sapphire, right? I had a couple of the champions last night. They went ahead and they made their Sapphire flyer and they made champion flyers for their group, right? Because it's super important to reprogram your mind, recondition your mind. You need to take the goal, turn it into a desire, turn it into an obsession, right? How do you turn something into an obsession? You got to see it, you got to hear it, you got to taste it, you got to feel it, right? And you got to smell it, right? You got to take, you activate your desire when your 5 senses, right, are activated to that desire. So you got to see champion every single day. That needs to be what your eyes are saying yes to every single day. Right? That's what you're at. That's what you need to hear. That's what faith comes by. Faith comes by hearing. Doesn't mean, hey, I'm just going to hear the word one time. I'm going to hear my goal one time and then my goal is going to come alive. No, I got to hear the word over and over again because it comes by hearing. So you got to activate your desire, right? You got to increase your desire. You create that desire by hearing it over and over again, right? So those are the things, right, that is going to create the desire, and then you move it to intent, right? That means I have an intention to get it done. I'm going to go out there and get it done, right? Because the repetitive thoughts that I'm putting in my mind, guess what? It inverses the vibration, and then it turns the vision into reality, right? It turns the vision, it turns the goal into reality. You see, 95% of people, they never live like this. Most people, what they do is they live in fear. Right? They live life in fear. Oh, what if I fail? Right? Or what are people going to think about me? Right? I want you to drop some ones on the chat of those are thoughts that come into your mind. Right? What if I fail? What are people going to think about me? Right? What if this person tells me no? Right? What if this doesn't work out? Right? Those are all lies. Right? Those are all things that even I thought when I first came in December and November. What if this doesn't work? What if this is my 4th company? What if I don't do this? What if I don't, like, those are all thoughts that you gotta recondition, right? You gotta reverse those thoughts because those are all lies. I want you to write this down. If the devil can discourage you, that's what he wants. If the devil can discourage you, if you let the enemy in, he wants you to believe those lies. But you gotta not believe the lie, and I gotta go ahead and recondition. I gotta tap into, right, repeated thoughts that are gonna be alignment to my goal, and I gotta have prayer all the time. There's power in prayer, right? There's power in speaking the right words, right? Our tongue is the smallest member of our body, but it's the most powerful because you can create through the word because we're spirit and spirit's the word and the word is spirit. So what you're speaking all the time is what you're putting into creation, is what you're creating over and over again. Guys, this is stuff that I didn't just study. I did it and I teach it, right? Because I've seen people get themselves in a state of belief, and sometimes that's all you need, right? Because the skills will come after, right? The work will come after, but it's going to start with believing. It's going to start with understanding that I'm going to make all things are going to be possible for those who believe. Because the one thing that the enemy is going to do is he's going to challenge you. He's going to wither his way in. He's going to prowl. He's going to prowl and try to have you believe those lies that, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough, right? What if this doesn't work out? Those are all lies that you got to take those repeated thoughts out, reverse them, right? Take them out and say, and put in new ones, because guess what? Your mind, your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real or fake. It actually only takes in what you give it. So your mind is actually going to go out there and start looking for the right people, getting you in the right places if you give it the right address. if you give it the right goal. That's why you got to recondition your mind. You got to have repeated thoughts that are aligned to your goals and have the prayer on point, right? Have the prayer with the right words, right? Because guess what? If the devil can't discourage you, then you're going to achieve your goal. Because if God is with you, no one can stand against you, right? And that right there is mainly for the enemy. If God is with you, the enemy can't stand against you. If God is with you, guess what? The lies can't stand against you. You can't go in. So you got to understand that, yo, who am I? I got to get myself in a state of belief. How do I get myself in a state of belief? Perfect. I'm going to focus on the two things that create change. I'm going to have repeated thoughts, and I'm going to have power in prayer. I'm going to have repeated thoughts toward my goal. I'm going to have repeated thoughts right towards champion. I'm going to think about champion all the time. I'm going to create the thoughts of a champion all the time. I'm going to have the words up. I'm going to write my affirmations. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am a champion, and I'm going to start speaking the right words. I understand the power in prayer. I understand that when I get into prayer, I start to see how small I am, and I start to see how big God is. I'm going to let room for the words to start creating in my life. That's how it starts. When you begin to think those thoughts, it changes who you are. You become different. You become a different being inside. The outside world starts to comply, and whatever you want, right, you get out of it, right? The outside world complies, and you get whatever you want out of it. You get whatever you desire out of it. But you need to start beginning to think those thoughts right now. Those thoughts need to be thought right now. I'm a champion. I'm so happy and grateful now, right? It changes who you are, and you become a different person. You become a different person. Listen, we serve a big God, and he has an unlimited power of supply. But it says in scripture, according to your faith, it will be done to you. According to your believing, according to your faith, it will be done to you. It's not according to God, because God has all the power. What he's waiting for is for you to come into partnership, for you to believe it, for you to have the faith, for you to actually speak to the mountain and not about the mountain, not making it bigger, right? That's what God is waiting for. God is waiting for you to step in faith, for you to believe what he spoke into you, because it all starts with your belief. Because if you don't believe for it, nothing else matters. You can take the action, it won't work, right? You can do the cause, you won't have the right what? The right frequency, the right energy levels. I see we got people coming in. If you guys can let them in, please go ahead and do so, right? But that's what it takes. It first starts with your belief, guys. The second thing, right? First one is belief. The second one is leadership. Everybody drop in the chat box. I am a leader. I am a leader. I am a leader. We're going to get into some good stuff right here. Who's with me right now? I am a leader. Drop it in the chat box. So we're going to get into some good stuff right here. So everything falls and rises on leadership, right? Everybody should know that. So guess what? If everything falls and rises on leadership, you can rise right now if you understand the stages of leadership. Guys, leadership is the highest paid profession, and it's for a reason. It's for a reason. If you look at all the top leaders in the world, it's for a reason. Why they're the top earners, why it's the highest paid, why it's the highest paid profession in the whole entire world. And I want to talk about the 4 stages of leadership, right? The 4 stages of leadership. Now, leadership is just another word for you being called out. That's what leadership is. It's just another word for you being called out. So you've been called out to lead. Now it's your decision to answer the call. Yo, you've been called out to lead, right? If you joined this business, you've been called out to impact. What's our vision? To positively impact the lives of 1 billion people, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. So we actually can't get to that vision if you don't answer the call. That's what leadership is. It's another word for you actually being called out. So you've been called out to lead. Now it's just you understanding the 4 stages of leadership And then also understanding, I got to answer the call. So there's 4 stages of leadership. 4 stages of leadership. The first one is the declaration stage. Write that down, declaration stage. The first stage of leadership is the declaration stage. Okay, this stage right here is where God gives you a vision, right? He speaks the word to you, and here's the thing. Now it's now tied into your obedience for you to speak it. So listen to this. If God gave you the vision to go sapphire, yo, God gave me the vision, and now it's in my obedience to speak it, because he spoke the word to you. He gave you the vision, right? Your goal is sapphire. That's your goal. So now I gotta time myself in obedience to speak it every single day. Here's the question I have for you. What are you putting out there every single day? What are you speaking every single day? Is it in alignment to what God gave you? And here's another thing you can write. This is the excitement stage, okay? This is where I'm excited. I got the word. I'm going champion, right? Like I'm fired up, right? I'm the first one on the calls. I'm the first one saying I am a champion, right? Because God gave you the vision. God gave you the word. Now, here's the thing. It's your obedience now, right? It's tied into your obedience for you to speak it now, right? So God gives you the word. He gives you the vision. Now I got to take it in and I got to speak it every day. I got to speak it every day. So if you think about it, if you don't speak it, you're actually being disobedient, and your blessing is tied in to your obedience. It first starts with being obedient, then the blessing comes. So if you're not speaking it, this is the declaration stage. This is where I'm going champion. But here's the thing. It's not always speaking champion in the good times, on the calls. It's actually speaking champion, right? When nobody's looking. It's saying, it's when it's you and you. That's the secret right there, because that's when you know you actually believe it. I can guarantee you, and I can tell you, it's when nobody saw, when nobody was around me, and when I was still having tribulations, I was still having challenges. I didn't let those things stop me from speaking diamond. I didn't let those things stop me from speaking going diamond. And guess what? God just made the way. He just made the way because I continue to speak it. December 31st came. I got a phone call from David. Hey, we're going to give you guys 2 more days. But you see, when I was talking to Michael, I said, let's push to the finish line. When I was talking to Darnell, I said, yo, let's push to the finish line. I kept speaking it. No matter what the back office said, no matter what the time said. I didn't ask myself how. I didn't ask myself when. I understood the declaration stage. This is the excitement stage. But the key component is when things don't look right the way they're supposed to, are you still speaking it? Because every time he gives you a word, right, guess what? The next comes is the distress stage. Number 2. So it's actually the 4 Ds. The 4 Ds. And the four Ds of leadership, the 4 stages of leadership. The second one is distress. Okay, this is the stage where it's not going to be easy. This is the stage where we come in, we're excited. I'm going champion. I'm going sapphire. Boom, you come in, you're excited. You bring in 2, 3, 4 people. And then guess what? Life hits the fan. Business hits the fan, right? But in this stage, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. Here's the thing. You're going to actually have to suffer a little bit. And if you look at the word passion, because the first goal is to build the belief, is to build the assurance, is to build the passion for this business. And when you have a passion for something, the definition of passion is I actually have to suffer for it. I actually have to suffer for it. But here's the thing. We jump out and we declare, but here's the thing. But we don't want to actually pay the cost of what the cost actually is. I want to go champion. I'm going champion. But when it comes to paying the cost, most of us, what we do is we declare, and then are we going to get ready to pay the cost? Do we get ready to pay the cost? This is a stage where a lot of people drop the ball. And that's why I truly believe this call is going to reignite everybody, because you may be in the stage right now. This may be the stage that you're in right now. Somebody else may be in a different stage, and I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But this is a stage, right, where most people, they take themselves out of the blessing. I'm going to go champion. They make 2 or 3 calls, right? 4 people don't answer. the distress stage. So they're excited at first, and then the distress stage comes. But a leader, a true leader of vision, a leader that has vision in this distress stage, they're going to keep going, right? Instead of talking yourself out, change the pursuit, change your prayer around and say, God, what are you trying to teach me in this? Or God, what am I doing wrong? Or God, what do I need to sharpen? Or God, what is it that I need to work on? Right? Instead of telling yourself, yo, I don't know if this is for me, right? You start to not align yourself in the distress stage, right, to your goal. What you need to say is, God, what are you teaching me in this stage? What am I doing wrong? What do I need to sharpen? Right? You need to change your perspective. Write that down. You need to change your perspective. God, what are you making out of this moment? Right? God, are you getting me stronger in this? Right? Because you see, our goal is we need to do two things in this stage. We need to keep showing up with the right attitude, number one. And number two is we need to show up being the best version of ourselves. Even if you're in the stage, even if you're making the calls, even if you got excited when you came in day one, you're like, yo, why is nobody coming in? Why is nobody picking up? Why is somebody telling me they're going to get started on Friday? Friday comes. Oh, they don't pick up the phone. They go missing, right? A leader was going to launch with me. They're going to bring in 100 people. The leader didn't come in, right? This is the leader of distress. But what you got to do is you got to keep showing up. Why? Because you chose to believe first. You see, if you believe, right? If you really believe in this stage, the believing really shows up. It's the belief that shows up. You may not want to show up, but the belief shows up because you're showing up with a good attitude and you're showing up being the best version of yourself. And you know what's the best part? It's in the unknown places that God makes himself known. It's in this place right here. It's in where it gets rough, where things start to seem a little tricky, where you got to really press through, right? It's in the unknown places that God makes himself known. But you got to press it through. You got to say, if I'm in this distress stage, this is what I got to do. I got to speak the right words, and I got to not let my thoughts, I got to not let the enemy come in. Oh, well, what if this wasn't for you? Because God gave you the vision, and whatever he spoke has to come to pass. It has to happen. So it's the word, it's the thoughts that you got to align yourself with in this stage right here. Stage number 3 is the developmental stage. Because you see, when you're in this distress stage and you go and you press forward and you believe in this stage and you tell yourself, I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to be the best version of myself. Guess what happens in the developmental stage, right? In this stage, this is what you want to keep focusing on. You want to stay consistent on the 3 P's that build your business. Write this down. You want to stay consistent on the 3 P's that build your business. Number 1, prospecting. How many people are you meeting every single day? How many people are you prospecting, right? How many people are you connecting with? How many people are you related? This is the developmental stage. This is a stage where you're developing yourself as a leader. You're developing yourself. You're doing the skills because you have the belief, because you overcame the distress stage, because the distress stage turns into development. That's what it does. It turns into development. So what you got to be focusing on in this developmental stage is I got to be prospecting. Number 2 is I got to be presenting. How many exposures are you doing? How many exposures? How many times are you showing the plan? I just did a call with a Johnny. He had 13 prospects on that call. He exposed 13 people today, right? How many exposures are you exposing, right? How many presentations are you and your organization doing? You want to know the key secret to building a massive business? Here it is. The fastest growing organization has the most people exposing the vision. But it starts with you. It starts with you. The fastest, how many people can I get to expose the vision? How many people can I get to expose the vision of Envision You? How many people can I have exposing the plan? But it first starts with you. It first starts with you. And that's why you got to go all in And you got to start with prospecting. How many people are you meeting? You got to set the goal. This is what David said. You got to meet 5 brand new people every day. You got to prospect 5 brand new people. Build relationships on Instagram, in person. In person needs to be 5, right? On Instagram, get 5 people to write back to you, right? So now you're meeting 10 brand new people a day. You show the plan to one of them, to 10 of them, 1 person gets started, 1 out of 10 rule. Right? Developmental stage is where you're doing the repetitive work, is where you're now developing the muscle. That's what faith is. When you're in the faith stage, you're developing the muscle. Faith develops the muscle. Number 3 is promoting, getting to alive, and everyone you know to this event, to this convention. All roads lead to convention. In this developmental stages, how many people are you prospecting? How many people are you exposing the plan to? And how many people are you getting to the Alive convention? That's the developmental stage, the 3 P's to massively building this business. You got to accept it and you got to lean into it. You got to accept it and you got to lean into it. You know why? Because great leaders do things consistently. Not when momentum's up, not when things are all up. No, leaders do things consistently every single day because you believe in the vision, you believe in yourself, you believe that you are a champion. So every single day, you believe you're going to Sapphire. If you went champion your first month, your goal is to go Sapphire this month, right? Or to at least requalify, but you got to believe for it. And great leaders, they do things consistently every single day. It's about going out there and giving it a go. It's the consistency of it that makes it happen. As you stay consistent, guess what? You're getting better. As you stay consistent, right? Getting on the calls, you're learning. As you stay consistent, exposing the plan, you may not be great the first time, but you're getting better and better and better. Guess what? I was with a Johnny here in Alabama, and I'm utilizing a Johnny as an example because, you know, he came to me yesterday. He's like, yo, bro, I see I'm getting better at speaking. I see I'm getting better at exposing the plan. I said, yeah, you know why? It's not because I'm here. It's not actually because you're learning from me. It's actually because you're doing it. It's actually because you're doing more of it. You're being more consistent. You're doing more of it. That's why you're getting better. That's why you're getting stronger, right? It's a developmental stage. And this is the stage where you need to be the most focused because you're growing the muscle. You're showing the plan more. You're being firm, right? Leaders go the way. Leaders go the route. Leaders go do it first. That's why it's important. You got to go do it first. And then the 4th stage. So the first one is, what? Going in. Oh, and we just, first one is, let's see, I'm just testing you guys. The first one is the declaration stage. There you go. Second stage is, boom, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be in the distress stage. So, you know, things I'm excited at first in the declaration stage. God gave me a word. I'm going champion, but hey, there's going to, right? Boom, you get a couple people started. There's going to be a distress stage, but it's going to be on your ability to remain focused, on your ability to keep believing, on your ability to repeat the thoughts of a diamond, to repeat the thoughts of a champion, to get in prayer, to speak the words. Prayer is just speaking. Prayer is just what's coming out of your mouth, right? And then the developmental stage where you're developing yourself as a leader, right? The first book that David said is you got to develop the leader within you. This right here in the developmental stage, you're developing yourself as a leader. You're doing more. You're being consistent. And then the 4th one, my favorite, actually it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's a good one. It's the demonstration phase, the demonstration stage, right? Demonstration stage, right? Right here, all the things that God declared to you, all the things that you declared, all the things that you claimed gets demonstrated in your life. Sheesh. All the things you spoke, all the things you believe for, all the things, this is I want to know real quick, who wants to see the demonstration stage? Drop a I on the chat if you want to see the demonstration stage. But it's going to take you being in those 3 stages. I got to declare it. I got to be in distress. I got to develop myself as a leader. And the demonstration is going to come from God. Lead into whatever. Here's the thing. What you want to do is you want to lean into whatever stage you're in and know there's a purpose and design for it. And it's all going to show in the demonstration stage. It's all going to show when God shows out. All the things God declared to you, all the things you claimed, all the things I declared, guess what? It's going to get demonstrated in your life because it has to happen, because the word cannot fail. If he gave you the word, if he gave you the vision, it has to come to pass. But you got to go through the 4 stages. You can't go through 1 and then jump to 4. It doesn't work like that. I don't just say, oh, I'm going to go, right? I'm sure Anna's here on this call. She knows I didn't just say, oh, I'm a diamond, and then diamond showed up. No, I had to go through distress, right? I know Asia's on this call. Asia knows I had to go through distress, right? I had to go through that, but it takes a great leader to be consistent and develop himself. I had to develop more myself as a leader. I had to communicate better. I had to increase my communication. I had to increase my emotional intelligence. I had to increase my value, because if I wanted God to demonstrate, right, what he declared in my life, which was diamond, I had to speak it. I had to stay consistent. I had to believe for it. You guys see how this works? If you guys understand this, it's already done. Come on. It's already done. If you guys understand this, it's done. And here's the thing. These stages are a never-ending cycle. Why? Because when God starts to demonstrate, right? Oh, boom, you went champion. Awesome. Jeff and Marie, you went champion. Boom. Guess what? He gives you a new word. He gives you a new word. Sapphire. You start speaking sapphire. You hit champion. A couple people fell off. A couple people ain't writing back. A couple people, you know, like the 2020 plan that Gary McSween said, right? You go 20 wide on your left, 20 right on your right. 6 people are gonna quit. So it's a never-ending cycle. So once you go champion, you get a new word. You're speaking a new word. You're now saying something new. You're now speaking. You're now declaring something God put in your heart, something you put in your heart. You're now declaring sapphire. It's a never-ending cycle. And then guess what? When you want to reach new levels, there's going to be some things you got to overcome in that distress level. There's going to be some growth, development you're going to have to do as a leader. There's going to have to be more exposures as a leader. I'm going to have to go show the plan more. I'm going to have to go do more, because these stages are never a never-ending cycle. You're in the developmental stage, then God demonstrates again. Then he demonstrates, boom, sapphire. And then he gives you a new word, ruby. But I understand now, ruby, there's going to be some more distress. It's a never-ending cycle. But you see, God gives you a new word, right? Guess what? We as an organization, we hit diamond, right? Our first month as an organization. Then God works through people, right? That's how God works. He speaks through people. God gave David a word. David gave us a phone call. David said, guys, 10 brand new champions in the month of January. I want to see who's believing, right? Drop a 10 on the chat if you're believing for 10 brand new champions in the month of January. And how many people we got on this call? Let me see. Y'all know me. I got a broken screen here, so I'm working with what I got. We got 37. Only 10 people. 10 people. Drop a 10 on the chat if you're believing for 10 champions this month. 10 brand new. 10 brand new. Right? He gave a new word, some distress. Boom. Developed. We showed the plan. I came out to Alabama, developed some new leaders. Boom. And now God has to demonstrate, right? He has to demonstrate. So 10 champions are going to happen. They're going to come alive. But I want to know who's going to be one of those 10 champions. Well, who's going to, because guess what, guys? What God is doing in you and what he's doing through you is going to require a more mature you, a more mature version of yourself. It's going to require a more strong, mature just means stronger. So that means you're just going to have to get stronger. You're going to have to get more complete as a leader, right? That's what leadership is. I gotta become stronger. I gotta become stronger in my work ethic. I gotta become stronger in my belief. I gotta become stronger in my leadership. I gotta become stronger speaking my goal. I gotta become stronger, utilizing my thoughts. I gotta become stronger in developing myself and developing others as a leader. That's what mature is, because if God is doing something in you and he's doing something through you, it's gonna require you to become much more of a mature leader, of a mature version of yourself. And that's why it's a never-ending cycle. I got to declare it. I got to understand the stress is going to come, right? This stress, I got to understand developmental is a process. I got to develop myself as a leader. I got to do personal growth. Here's a question I have for you. Are you on a personal growth regimen? Are you listening to the audios that David gave us? Right? I know Darnell been speaking this audio since day one, developing the leader within you. Are you mastering it? Not studying it. Are you mastering it? Mastering it is I'm listening to it over and over and over and over again. And I'm not going to stop hearing it. And I'm not going to see till the audio is in me. Till the audio is in me. Right? I got to become stronger. I got to become a more mature leader. If I want to lead masses, if I'm going to be a major vessel, if I'm going to be one of those 100 diamonds in 2024, I got to become much stronger. I got to become stronger in exposing the plan. I got to do more. I just get excited when I get a no, because I know there's yeses on the other side of it. I know there's yeses on so I got to become stronger when somebody tells me no. I had 4 or 5 leaders, 6, 7 leaders tell me, hey, I'm going to launch in January. They didn't launch. So I had to become stronger and expose more and talk to more leaders and do more. Because I know for Double Diamond to become a Double Diamond organization, we all got to be more mature. We all got to become stronger. It's all going to require us to be more complete as a leader, as a pinnacle leader, right? I hope this makes sense. So the first topic is believing. What time is it? Is believing. Second topic is leadership. Everything falls and rises in leadership. And this is how you rise. You got to go through the 4 stages. You want to rise in your leadership. You want your business to rise. You want your business to flourish. You want your business, right, to multiply. Guess what? You're going to have to go through the 4 stages. You see, faith multiplies. How's your faith in going champion this month? Are you repeating the thoughts of going champion? I'm so happy. That should be the only dominating thought. You should only speak like how a champion speaks, right? You should only speak on how a sapphire speaks, right? So if you're not a sapphire right now, you gotta study the sapphires. How do they speak? How do they move? What do they do? Right? That's the type of leadership I want to model if I want to get there. Because leadership, guess what? It's studied, it's practiced, and it's taught. That's what leadership is. It's studied, it's practiced, and it's taught. A lot of people just want to go to the top. No. It's studied, it's practiced. Practice is doing. I'm doing the work. I'm doing what's necessary, and then I teach it. So what I'm teaching right here, I'm free flowing, right? I'm teaching it because I don't just study it, but I practice it. That's what leadership. Write this down. Leadership is visual. That's what it is. It's not me telling, it's visual. I go do it and then I go teach it. That's what leadership is. That's what a pinnacle leader does. And then the third one, you guys ready for this one? Taprooting. We're gonna go deep on this. This was the topic that we were gonna go heavy on today. But I was like, man, we gotta go into belief. Everybody needs to believe that they're a champion this month. Yes or yes, because 10 champions is already done. We need to go into leadership because there's 4 stages of leadership, right? And everybody needs to know what stage they're in. They need to know, and more importantly, they need to know that the demonstration stage is coming. So you need to get excited about that right now, right? You need to be getting excited about that demonstration stage because it's coming, but it's going to take developing yourself as a leader, and it's going to take some distress. It's going to take some people quitting. It's going to take you overcoming that, and you overcome it through your words. You overcome it through your thoughts by aligning yourself with the right thoughts. So number 3 is taprooting. Taprooting. Write that big on your paper. Taprooting. Drop it on the chat box. Taprooting. This is how you go deep. I want you to write this down. The dough in this business is when you go deep, when you build depth. That's what taprooting is. Taprooting is bringing somebody in and being able to have them bring other people in, right? That's, you see, that's true taprooting. It's not, okay, I brought this person in. This is going to be a big switch for a lot of you leaders here on this call. It's going to be big. This is a leadership, right, call. This is a leadership conversation. Taprooting is helping somebody get started and then helping them get other people started, going through their network deep. That's where the dough is. If you guys were here since day one, that's what David said. Taprooting is where the dough is. Going in depth is where the dough is. And you know where taprooting begins? I want you to write this down. Taprooting begins in the launch. Taprooting begins on how you launch, on how effectively you launch the brand new person, right? That's where it begins. The launch begins right when somebody comes in. How effectively are you launching that brand new person? Here's the thing. The work actually starts when they get started. Some people are like, oh, they got started? I'm done. They're in. No, it takes true leadership. It takes a leader that commits to taprooting. If they want to see taprooting, it's going to take you understanding that the work actually begins when they come in. It doesn't end. It begins. Everything is determined by your effectiveness on how you launch that brand new person in your business. That's how it is. And here's the thing, write this down. If they're not launched in 24 hours, don't count them in your business. And I'm going to teach you how to launch them right now. But I need you to understand that if you don't launch a brand new person, so Tammy, if you bring somebody in, right? Asia, you bring somebody in. Coach Anna, you bring somebody in. Anita, everybody should have their cameras on, right? We're just getting started here on this call. Mike, you get somebody in. Darnell, you get somebody in, right? It's going to take, really all it takes is understanding if they're not launched within the first 24 hours, don't count them in your business. They're not in your business. Don't count them for them paying their membership in the next month. I'll give it to you like this. I hope the guy named Nana, right? Hopefully he's on this call. He helped somebody get in, right, with a premier pack. We didn't launch him in the first 24 hours. He's MIA. Every time I hit him up, he doesn't answer. Paid a premier pack. Closed him on a premier pack. Came in, got started with a premier. We didn't launch in 24 hours. Guess what? He's MIA. So you need to do this. This is, I'm showing you correction on my end too. You need to do this within 24 hours, right? You need to do this within 24 hours. If they are not launched in 24 hours, don't count them in your business. They're not in your business anymore. They need to be properly launched. And a launch is not a launch. Write this down. If your mentor, if a champion or above is not present. Write that down. A launch is not a launch unless a champion or above is not present. So let's say, right, Tammy, you get somebody in. Let's say, Kobe, you get somebody in. Let's say, right, I see we got my boy Kendall on here. You get somebody in and you don't launch them with your mentor, don't count them in your business. You need to have a proper launch with your mentor, with your sponsor. And if your mentor is not a champion, you need to find your champion mentor, right? You need to find your champion sponsor. And you need to take 30 minutes to an hour to properly launch somebody. So what does a launch consist of, Anthony? Write this down. Number one, you want to champions, you want to do. If you're not a champion, you want to watch. So you want to do or watch the 5 steps to success, the 5 pillars to success. Example, I was with a Johnny and we brought a brand new person in, right? Big shout out to BJ. Hopefully you're on this call. And we sat down and we watched the David Imonite together, right? On the 5 pillars to success. So we watched it together. We took 20 minutes, right? We set him up with the app. We made sure he was connected to the broker. Everything was good. Right after we were done with that, we said, we're going to take 20 minutes and we're going to watch this video together. Now, what you want to do is you want to practice it. So champions, you want to do this and it's going to take these 5 things. Okay. Number one is going over their why, okay? Number two is you want to help them be a product of the product. You want to help them create their product story. You want to have them you want them to have a testimony after their first 30 days. That should be your goal as a mentor. You want to make sure if they're going to push, I know Josh, right? He's pushing Alive, right? That's the product he's launching over in North Dakota, right? Idaho, right? He's going to make sure that that brand new person that just got started today is going to have a product, right? So a testimony with the product. So you want to make sure you help that person create a testimony within the first 30 days with the product, right? FO2, guess what? You can help that person create a testimony, right? I think somebody on the chat made some money here today. That's a testimony. They made their first testimony, right, with the product, right? Number three is you want to help that person make a massive list. Make a massive list, right? Me and Johnny sat down with BJ. BJ made a list of at least 50 people on spot. He made a list of 50 people on spot. Step number 4 of the 5 pillars of success, right, is you want to help that person book 4 meetings. And I'm going to go into this in just a little bit, but I need you to write this down. Number 1 is your why, product testimony. Number 3 is make a massive list, make a list on spot. Number 4 is you want to book 4 meetings with that person, right? Book 4 meetings with that person. Step number 5 is a commitment. We need to help you be committed to 2 things. Personal development. We need to give you the personal development resume that David gave us, developing the leader within you, and the magic of believing, right? And then we need to help you be committed to attending the Alive convention. We need to help you commit to being at the Alive convention. Okay, so those are the 5 steps to success, right? So you're gonna either do or watch, right? For example, me and Johnny, we watched it with him and he was taking notes the whole entire time. The second thing, I need you to write this down. The second thing is you need to do a why circle with your mentors. Okay? So you need to, so if you got somebody brought in and that person watched the 5 steps of success, you need to do a 3-way FaceTime, 4-way FaceTime, 5-way FaceTime, or on Zoom. And you need to dedicate 15 minutes or 10 minutes to a why circle, right? I want you to write this down. We're doing why circles all of 2024. All of 2024, we're doing why circles. Why circles, why circles, why circles. Why, Anthony? Because this is the most important part, right? You need to help them get emotional. And if they don't get emotional, you need to get emotional again, right? Because I was with a Johnny and Shantar and BJ, and we all shared our why, right? And guess what? Everybody showed their why. And then I shared my current why and I got emotional. I wanted to cry, right? I got back to that feeling of understanding why I'm doing this business, right? Some people shared some tears, right, on the why circle. And that should be the goal, to share some tears with that brand new person, right? So they know, yo, you're real, man. Like I truly shared with him my why, right? And I was like tearing up, man. I was tearing up and it got emotional for me, you know? So, you know, your goal is to help them get emotional, but if they don't get emotional, you need to get emotional again so you can get the fire in you, right? Because once I did, I'm like, yo, I got the fire in me. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Like, I'm ready, right? You need to know why you're doing this. And you need to keep the vision in front of you. You need to have a goal card. And you need to help that person set up a goal card on that why circle, because you need to know why you're doing this. You need to help that person know why they're doing it. And you need to keep the vision in front of you. You need to keep the vision in front of you, right? Then after you do that, so once you do the 5 steps of success, you do the why circle, you get emotional. Now you're in a different state. Now you're like, now all of you guys are ready to run. Like, yo, what? I went back to my why. We need to go set some meetings. So now you're setting up those 4 exposures. Write that down. You set up those 4 exposures. And this is what your goal is to do with these exposures, with these meetings. Your goal is to help that person go dual team qualified in 24 hours. Listen, if you go over the 5 steps of success, if you go do a why circle, and you set up 4 exposures right there on spot, you're helping that person go dual team qualified, yes or yes. My boy VJ, we did the Y circle, we did the 5 pillars of success. Right after that Y circle, we got in the car. He's like, yo, let's jump in the whip. Let's go drive. We did 3 meetings. Out of those 3 meetings, 2 people got started. Why? Because we set him up. The 5 steps to success is going to set him up for the next 18 months. Then we're going to go get emotional, right? We're going to understand why we're actually doing this. That's going to create a drive. That's going to create a fire. That's going to get us to do things that we normally don't do because we're emotional. We're like, yo, I can't, like, I got emotional. I'm like, yo, let's go do the meetings right now. He's like, yo, let's go do the meetings right now. Let's get in the whip. All right, perfect. Let's go in the whip. We went to go do 3 meetings back to back to back. Did 3 presentations. 2 people got started. BJ got celebrated today in the group chats as a brand new dual team qualified. And guess what happened? He actually didn't do it in 24 hours. He did it in 5 hours. From the moment he got launched, he did it in 5 hours. Because he was launched within 24 hours. Boom. Once we launched him within 24 hours, we helped him get emotional. I got emotional. Johnny got emotional. Shantar got emotional. And we went and we took massive action. So the Y circle, if it's in person or FaceTime, we did it in person. But if you're not in person with that person, get on FaceTime with your mentors. Get 4 people on FaceTime. Do a Y circle, even if it's 10 minutes, and dig deep into that why, because when you did the more you dig, the bigger the why is going to come out. And once that why comes out, it's go time. It's showing the plan time. It's ready. We're going to go set those 4 meetings. Let's go show them right now, because we got to make this thing happen, right? So you want the goal out of it is to help that brand new person go dual team qualified in their first 24 hours. In their first 24 hours. The last thing before I wrap up in taprooting, before we go into the whiteboard magic, is this right here. You want to understand the 3 laws to building this business. Okay? You want to understand, and this ties into what I just said. The goal right after you help that person launch is to help that person become dual team qualified in 24 hours. Why, Anthony? Because law number 1, right, is a recruit is not a recruit until they're dual team qualified. What did I say? Don't count that brand new person in your business if you don't help them become dual team qualified. You have to make sure they get their first check. That's what dual team qualified is. You help them go dual team qualified, they're getting their first check. You help them sponsor 2 people, right? A visionary builder is not in your business until they sponsor 2. They're not actually in your business. Don't count them in your business if you don't help that person sponsor 2 people. That's the first law. A recruit is not a recruit until they're dual team qualified, until you've helped them sponsor 2 people, okay? Then, second law, law number 2, a recruit leg is not a recruit leg until you drive it 4 levels deep. A recruit leg is not a business leg until you have driven it 4 levels deep. Let me give you an example. This is what 4 levels is. I personally recruited a Johnny. A Johnny is my level 1, right? A Johnny sponsors, right? Sponsors Shantar, right? Level 2, Shantar sponsors VJ. Boom, level 3, right? Boom. Now level 3, all right, if VJ goes sponsor somebody, right? Which he did. He sponsored Shanoy and he sponsored his girlfriend, right? Now I went 4 levels deep. You guys saw that right there? I went 4 levels deep. So a recruit leg is not a recruit leg until you go 4 levels deep. And every time you take a leg 4 levels deep, you will find a superstar. Anywhere between those 4 levels, right? BJ could be that superstar because I went 4 levels deep. I recruited a Johnny recruited Shantar recruited BJ, right, could be that superstar, right? Or Shantar, level 2, right? Level 2 could be that superstar. Or maybe Shanoy could be that superstar. You'll find a superstar within 4 levels. So if you want to find a superstar in your 4 levels, you've got to do a proper effectively launch, right? It's necessary. It's your deepest organizations, guys, that produce the most volume. You produce the most volume, you're producing the most money. It's as simple as that. You produce the most volume, you produce the most money. Why? Because it's the depth is where the where the dough is. The depth is where the dough is. You want to get to the dough, you got to go deep, right? It's where the money is. But before that, you got to understand width is security. I got to go wide. Going wide, what it does is it actually secures your business. It secures your business. Why? Because you first need to, in order for you to go deep, in order for you to go in depth, guess what? You got to go wide. You got to go wide. You got to go 8 personals wide. If you're not a champion, your first goal here is this. It's not even to go sponsor 8 people. This is actually what you want to focus on. Drop ready if you're ready for this. This is what you want to focus on. It's not to go sponsor 8 people. That's not the focus. The focus is to sponsor 80. Because if you go by the 1 out of 10 rule, 1 out of 10 rule, if you expose, what's an exposure? Write this down. This is what an exposure is. An exposure is when somebody sees the vision, hears the vision, and feels the vision. That's an exposure. 80 exposures will help you go 8 wide. Will help you go 8 sponsors. You'll sponsor 8 people. I will put everything on it that if you go expose 80 people with your mentor, I promise you'll get 8 personal enrollments. Yes or yes. I put money on it. I did it with Michael. I did it with Shantar. The first day I got here, they exposed 10 each. They both got 1 essential pack in. Yes or yes, right? Johnny, Shantar, if you're on this call, drop yes in the chat box if that's true, right? We went by the 1 out of 10 rule. 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. So you don't want to focus on the 8 people coming in. You want to focus on the 80 exposures. And that's what's going to help you, because if you focus on the 8 people coming in, when you get no's, you're going to lose focus. When you lose focus, you don't run the play. Leadership call. This is guys, after this call is done. It's a wrap. It's literally not just for champion. Diamond's done before a live convention. If you do this, if you believe, if you understand the 4 stages of leadership, if you taproot, this is it. This is where the dough is. And you become a super builder in law number 3. But you first got to do number 1, which is a recruit is not a recruit until they get their first 2 people, right? Then you got to go law number 2, which law number 2 is a recruit leg is not a business leg until you go 4 levels deep. You become a super builder when you go 8 levels deep. A team is not a team until you go 8 levels deep. That's a team. That's a team. You have a team. You don't have a team until you go 8 levels deep. When you go 8 levels deep, that's when you have a deep. That's why you got to go deep. Why do I got to go deep, Ant? Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The wind is going to blow us all. Everybody, the wind's going to come all the time. The wind, the storm, the waves, it's always going to come. But it's the tree that's deeply rooted that can withstand the storm. It's the tree that's deeply rooted that can withstand the wind. The deeper it is, the deeper the dough. When you take it 8 levels deep, it's gonna pay you for the rest of your life. I want you to write this down. You can't have grandkids without first having kids. That's why you gotta go wide. You can't go deep. You can't be a taproot king if you don't go wide. You can't have grandkids unless you first have kids. So over the next 10 days, you want to go wide. And this is what you're going to do. I want you to write this down. We're wrapping up with Taproot right here. Over the next week, you want to go wide. What are you going to focus on? 80 exposures. Don't focus on the 8 enrollments. You focus on the 8 enrollments, you're going to get discouraged. You're going to want to quit. Focus on exposing 80 people. Don't stop till you expose 80 people. Once you expose the 80, stop. That's it. In that week, you're gonna go wide. And every time you recruit, this is what you're gonna tell somebody. Every time you recruit somebody, you're gonna say, "I'm glad you're in. I'm so happy you're in. Congratulations that you're in, but you're not really in yet. Let's help you get your first 2 so you can get your first check. I'm so happy you're in. Congratulations, bro, you're in, but you're not really in yet." Who are 2 people that like you? We need to help you go be 2 team qualified. Do you know 2 people that like you? Do you know 2 people that want to make more money? Do you know 2 people that want to focus on their health, right? Because they're not really in yet if they don't have their food. So your first goal, you want to taproot fast, you want to go deep, you want to make the money, you want to go champion, Everybody here that wants to go champion, this is what you do. When you get somebody in, you tell them, listen, you're not really in yet, bro. We gotta help you first get your 2. We gotta first help you get your first check. That's when you're really in. That's when you're really in. Sheesh, we're going deep in this call, man. We're going deep, 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 deep. This is how you launch. This is you want you want to go sapphire this month. This is what you got to do. You got to go wide, and you got to go help everybody be a recruit. You got to go help everybody be in the business. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into the whiteboard magic. Right? How y'all feeling? Are you guys hanging in there? Let me check the chat box because my screen. How you guys feeling? Are y'all feeling good? Let me look at the chat box. I don't even look at my chat box when I'm going in because I like to stay tapped in. I like to stay focused. How many people we got on here? We got 33. Most of y'all are tapped in here. Tap, tap, tap in. All right. This is rock and roll. I said 5 hours, not 5 hours. All right, cool. I see everybody's tapped in here. Who else is tapped in? I see Amaya's tapped in. I see Josh is tapped in. I see Marie's tapped in. I see Natalie is tapped in. Who's getting value here today? Who's getting value? Who's getting value? Guys, for real, if you guys really do this, it's a wrap, man. It really is. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. I've learned this from David. I learned this from Eric Ward. I learned this from the top of the tops. Like, this is, you got to do the work, but you got to believe, you got to study leadership. You got to apply leadership. You got to be that leader, and the demonstration will come. And then it's another cycle. Then God gives you another vision, but you got to put in the work. The work can't be skipped. And that's where we're going to tap into on the 4th, right? Because now we're done. Listen, everyone can go champion. Everyone here can go champion. And I want you to understand something. The road to diamond is paid with champions. The road to diamond is paid with champions. So you got to first go champ to go diamond. And then once God gives you a new declaration, the road to diamond is paid with champions. But you got to first go champ. You got to first go champ. You got to go fast. You got to create the story fast. You got to focus on the 80 exposures. I'm going to expose the plan. I don't care if somebody comes in or doesn't come in. I want people to see, hear, and feel the vision, because if they see the vision and they hear the vision and they feel the vision, guess what? They're going to run. So I'm not here to convince. I'm not here to tell you, hey, buy the, no, because you need to see the vision, you need to hear it, and you need to feel it. If you have those 3, guess what? They're running. They're going to run with you. I'm not worried about the people that are going to tell me no. I'm looking for the people that are going to tell me I'm ready to run with you, Ant. And I know in order for me to find 8 of them, I got to expose 80. I have to. It's just a numbers game, right? So we're going to go into number 4. Everybody can hear, go champion. We're going to wrap up here with number 4. This is my favorite part. And we're going to wrap up here after this, okay? But this is the most important part. Actually, before we begin, re-promote this call. This is actually one of my favorite parts right here, whiteboard magic. So this part right here, and then I'm going to give the 3 announcements. I'm doing 2 announcements right after this before we close the call. So re-promote this. If somebody got off, get them on again. Get the teams on. They need to understand this whiteboard magic. Now, before I go there, I need to do some disclaimers with the whiteboard magic, right? Here's the disclaimers. If we get on the whiteboard, listen, I want you to write this down. Write this down, whiteboard magic. If you get on the whiteboard, it's important that you carry it out to completion. So it's a dangerous thing. The whiteboard is a dangerous thing because here's the thing. It's a disrespect to the whiteboard. If you do get on the whiteboard, it's important that you make a commitment to carry it out to completion. I know when Anna gets on the whiteboard, we did this together in Phoenix. We got on the whiteboard and she did it to the T. This is what you got to do. This is what she did. She hit Ruby. I know when Darnell gets on the whiteboard, it's into completion. I know when Michael gets on the whiteboard, so listen, if you get on the whiteboard, it's important that you carry it out to completion. Because if you don't, it's a disrespect to the whiteboard magic. Because every time I teach it and they do it, they get it done. So if you're not making that commitment to carry it out to completion, don't get the whiteboard. I'm telling you, because it'll work, but you got to work. The secret is getting it off the whiteboard. Write that down. The secret is getting it off the whiteboard. It has to go from the whiteboard to work. It has to go from the whiteboard to work. If it doesn't go from the whiteboard to work, it won't work. It won't work. When you get it out of the whiteboard to work, that's when it's going to get difficult. That's when the challenges will come. That's when the test will come. The challenge is staying in the work, because it's going to get challenging, but the whiteboard magic always works. It always works. It always works. All the time. But you have to become, write this down, emotionally mature as a leader. You need to become emotionally mature as a leader, meaning learning how to manage your emotions. Every emotion comes and goes, comes and goes. So we can't be ruled by our emotions. Because, right? Just because I felt this emotion doesn't mean I have to follow this. If we're going to do something great, it's going to require action. Drop action on the chat box. Drop action on the, if we're going to do something great, it's going to require action. It's going to require what? Action. That's what it's going to require. So what I'm going to do is, I don't have the David E. Monetier technology. So I'm going to do it to my best ability. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go on the whiteboard right now. I'm going to take 15 seconds. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere now. I'm going to go to the whiteboard. All right. I see that Johnny has the whiteboard up right now. So I'm going to go to the whiteboard. I'm going to take 15 seconds. So I'm going to just, I'm going to make it pin. Johnny, is it this one? Make replace pin. I think it, so. I'm gonna go there in 15 seconds. I'm gonna be right back. So don't go nowhere. I'm gonna teleport over to the I'm gonna teleport over to the whiteboard. So I'll be right over there to the whiteboard. I'll be right back. Hold on, I gotta make Tammy co-host. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Tammy. All right, good. Tammy. Co-host. We good.
It's not good.
It's good? All right, cool. I hope it didn't mess up the other recording. Hold on. I think we should be good, right? Oh, yeah. All right, we're good. All right, so whiteboard magic. All right, drop ready on the chat box. We're gonna close it out here. We're gonna close this whiteboard magic out. So we're gonna go over the whiteboard magic. Johnny, let me know if they can see it. Right. So we're gonna focus on a couple of things, right? So we're gonna focus on a couple of things. And actually, this whiteboard magic comes from the training that David did. Okay. He said the last call that we had with David, the last leadership call we had with David, he said, what you guys want to be focusing on is attracting and developing. What you want to be focusing on as a leader is you want to be focusing on attracting and developing. Right? So that's what needs to be the focus on this whiteboard. Okay. But before we focus on attracting and developing, here are the 3 things you need to know. Right? Before the 3 things, okay, I need you to write this down big. This is what's going to go on your whiteboard. This is the whiteboard magic, okay? What's your goal, right? So if you're a champion, I'm going to use you an example. Your goal is sapphire, okay? your goal is sapphire. You guys hear me? All right, cool. Your goal is sapphire. Can they see my screen too? They see it? All right, perfect. So to go sapphire, here's the thing. You need 10,000 volume. Now, I know most of you guys, our goal is 10,000 is 10 champions, right? Let's move this a little closer so you guys can see it. Yeah, there you go. Right? It's 10 champions. That's the goal for this month. So if your goal is to go champion, you're gonna put 5,000 volume. That's what you need. If your goal is sapphire, it's 10,000, right? So you need to make sure what your goal is. If it's champion, it's 5,000. If it's sapphire, it's 10,000. Champions, it takes 5,000 volume. And we've been having champion trainings to help you go champion, right? But this is the whiteboard magic. So before we go into attracting and developing, before we identify that out, we need to focus on three things. Number one is, where are you? Champions, this is key right here. Champions, this is key. You need to write this down. Where are you? Okay? Where are you? Put this over here so you guys can see it a little bit closer. All right, you guys should be able to see this a lot better. Okay? So you need to understand how much value. So you actually need to go to your back office right after this, and you need to see how much volume is in your back office right now. Okay? So right now, if you have, let's use you as an example. What was the volume, man? 4,200. 4,200. Okay, so Johnny right now is about to be a really qualified champion, right? Big shout out to Johnny. This is where he's at. Okay, before you can identify where it is that you're going, you need to identify where you are right now. This is where you are, right? Number two is, where are you going? Right? Where are you going? Right? Where are you going? You're going to Sapphire. This is the address you put in your GPS. When you go to a destination, right? If I were to drive from Pensacola to Miami, I don't know how to get there. So I need to put Miami in the GPS. Well, you need to put Sapphire in your mind, right? That's what you need to do. That's your mind is the GPS. So where are you going? You're going to Sapphire. So you're going to 10,000 volume. Okay, awesome. Now that I know where I'm going, I need to say, okay, 10,000 volume minus 4,200. What's that? Huh? 5,800. So this is what I'm remaining, right? In order for me to achieve Sapphire, right? This is the volume that's remaining for me to achieve Sapphire. So now I know where it is that I'm going. I'm going to Sapphire, right? So I'm identifying this is the volume that I need in order for me to achieve Sapphire. So now let's break this down. 5,800 volume, okay? If I were to divide that, how many days are left? Today, tomorrow, all the way to the 31st. I'm going to divide this volume by 6 days, right? So now I know in 6 days how much volume I need to be putting every single day in order for me to get Sapphire, right? So now I know I need 966 volume, right? Between now all the way to the 31st in order for me to go Sapphire. But here's the thing, 966 volume a day doesn't have to come from me, okay? It doesn't have to come from me. It could come from myself and my organization. So I know in order for me to go Sapphire, in order for Johnny to go Sapphire, I need 5,800 volume, 966 volume a day in 6 days for me to go Sapphire. Okay. Now here's the cool part. The third is the magic. The third is where the magic happens. Pass me an eraser too. The third is where the magic happens. Number three is you need to create a focus. Write that down. You need to create a focus. Now, what's the focus going to consist of? The focus is going to consist of attracting and developing. I'm not going to go deep into this because I know David covered it. But attracting and developing. You need both to do this. You need both to do this. You can't do it by yourself, and you can't depend on your team. Write that down, please. You can't rely on just yourself, and you can't depend on your team to do it. You need to attract and you need to develop. So write that down. Number 3 is create a focus. Okay. First one is where are you? Where are you in volume? If your goal is champion and you're at 1,000 volume, okay, that means I need 4,000 volume. Okay. So where I'm going is 5,000 volume. That means I need 5,000 minus 1,000 is 4,000. Okay. So now I need 4,000 volume. So cool. We're going to continue with this example. Now I know, now Johnny knows where he's at. He knows where he's going, and he's going to create a focus for Sapphire. Okay. There's 2 focuses that you need. You need to have a developing focus and you need an attracting focus. Okay. So Johnny, for him to hit Sapphire, was 5,800 volume. This is what he needs in order for him to go Sapphire. So the first thing you want to do in attracting, okay, this is the first thing you want to do. I'm going to write this down here. Set a goal. Set a goal. Up. This is better. Set a commitment. Write that down. Set a commitment. Set a commitment. Okay. You need to set a commitment of how many people. This is accountability. Okay. On how many people. This is accountability between you and you. How many people are you going to personally sponsor? Okay. You need to set that commitment. Number 2 is you need to write down the affirmation and the goal. And this is what you want to do every month. But right now we're talking for this month. Let's finish off this month. Affirmation and the goal. So before you even do anything, right? Johnny, what's yours? It's 10 people, right? Right? So Johnny's going to do, I am so happy and grateful now that I personally sponsored 10 brand new visionary builders by, okay, I am so happy and grateful now. I need you guys to write this down with me. I'm so happy and grateful now that I personally sponsored 10 brand new visionary builders by January 31st, 2024. Thank you, God. I believe it's done. This is the most important part because you need to create the belief. You need to have the right prayer. You need to have repeated thoughts on this right here. This is what the dominating thought needs to be. Okay? Once you do that, once you write down the goal, okay? Once you write it down. So now, guys, if you guys haven't figured it out, if you guys want to go champion and you put 5, you're not gonna go champion. Okay? Because you gotta follow the blueprint, right? You gotta follow the blueprint. So if your goal is champion, your commitment is probably gonna be 6 to 8 people. 6 to 8 people. So you can't have anything less if your goal is to go champion this month, right? Johnny's goal was 10. So this is what I want you to do on your whiteboard. I want you to write it down. I want you to write down the affirmation. I want you to write down the goal. Johnny, close the door. I want you to write down the goal. And then once you write down that goal, I want you to write down the 10 people. I want you to draw I want you to draw 10 lines. Okay? I want you to draw it out like this on your whiteboard. Draw it out. I want you to draw 10 lines on the whiteboard. Draw 10 lines on the whiteboard. Now, why are you doing this, Ant? Because guess what? The subconscious mind cannot accept incompletion. So if you wake up every single day, your mind, if you build the belief and you build the obsession, your mind has to complete this. That means I gotta wake up, I gotta do my prayer, I gotta do my worship, I gotta do my daily morning activities. And once I'm done with that, once I'm filled in, this is what I'm gonna do. I set my mind on this. Mindset. What are you setting your mind on? That's what you got to do. What are you setting your mind on? So number 3 is you got to write down that list. You got to write down that list. You got to set your mind to that commitment. So now if I have 10 empty lines, my subconscious mind cannot accept that. So now I have the goal to sponsor, right, 10 brand new people. And guess what? Leaders got to go do it first. You can't expect your team to recruit if you're not bringing in new people. And that's how you also never just depend on your team. You got to go sponsor brand new people. How many people are you going to sponsor by the end of January 31st? And then now we're going to develop. We're going to develop. Okay? So a sapphire, that's why you also need to know the blueprint. A sapphire has 1 to 2 champions. Okay? I want you to write that down. Sapphire has 1 to 2 champions. So if your goal is to go Sapphire, Jeff and Marie, Asia, right? Brooks, who else? Ty. What you want to do is write this down. Great leaders identify other great leaders. Okay? So David said on the other call, and developing people, you want to develop 1 to 2 new people every month. Okay? Every month. You want to develop 1 to 2 brand new people. So if you're a champion right now, Jeff and Marie, right? Ty, Asia, you want to be able to identify 1 to 2 people that you can help go champion. Now, what you probably want to do is help 1 person go champion. Okay? But you can probably have 2, right? But 1 to 2 people that can go champion. Who are those people, right? I know I identified it with a Johnny. He said the first one is Shantar, and the second one is VJ. Okay? So now, very simple. I want you to look at this. We help Shantar, right, go champion. Well, how much volume does Shantar have? Okay, she has 600 volume. Okay? So now, 4,400 volume. We help Shantar go champion. Look at this. We help Shantar go champion. Guys, this is the science. This is not the math. This is the science. We help Shantar go champion. 5,800 minus 4,800. Guess what? A Johnny's 1,200 volume away from going sapphire. But you see, he still has to go sponsor 10 people. Right? I said to go, I'm going to go sponsor 6. I want to go sponsor 10 people on the essential pack. Right? Then what you also want to do is you don't just want to do champions, because guess what? Now that you've identified your champions, you can also identify people that are in their business that you can help do this. Go dual team, go team, and that's all you really want to focus on. So right now, how many people in Shantar's business? How many people right now in Anita's business? How many people in Lodi's business? Right? If they have none, they got to go sponsor 8 people, right? Because if they want to go champion, they got to follow the blueprint, right? But Shantar, right? How many people in Shantar's business? How many people in VJ? Well, VJ has 2 people, right? So if VJ has 2 people, well, then we can help Shanoy and his girlfriend go dual team. Perfect. So now if we help Shanoy and his girlfriend go dual team, that's 4 brand new people in his business. 4 brand new people in his business. He's almost there to champion. It makes sense? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to taproot. I'm going to go find people, right? I'm going to go 4 levels deep. I'm going to go 8 levels deep. But I got to identify what I'm working with. I got to identify, because not everybody's going to go champion, but you can help somebody go dual team. You can help somebody go team. You can help somebody go create a dual team that can produce 1,200 volume on 2 essential packages. And then if his girlfriend does it on 2 cores, that's 500. That's 500 volume, qualified volume, right? 500 to 1,200 plus Chantar's champion. He's Sapphire. And his goal is to continue to sponsor his people, his 10 people. If he sponsors 10 people on essentials, right? Johnny sponsors 10 people on essentials, that's 6,000 volume. So what this is going to do, guys, is going to help you go past your rank. But you got to do this. Who can you identify? Who can you get identified that can go dual team right now in your organization? Who can you identify? Not everybody can go champion. Not everybody can go lead. Not everybody can go sapphire. But you can identify people that can go dual team. You can identify people right now that in the next 24 to 72 hours, you can help them go dual team. How do you go dual team? Go launch them effectively. Go relaunch them and go help them go dual team. This is the magic of the whiteboard. This is the magic of the science. This is being able to put the science on the whiteboard. And once you put it on the whiteboard, it's already done. And you got to go put in the work after you go do the whiteboard magic. You got to go do this. If you want 10 brand new people, I got to focus on 100 exposures. And through 100 exposures, I'll get this done. I got to focus on 100 exposures. I focus on that, well then perfect. But I got to focus on attracting and developing, not one or the other, attracting and developing. Because guess what? Even if one of them falls short, I'm backing myself up with this. Or even if I don't get the 10 and I help Chantar go champion, I still go sapphire. Attracting and developing. Attracting, you got to focus on both. You got to focus on, who am I going to develop? Who are you going to help go champion? Not everybody's going to go champion, but maybe right now you got to go sponsor 6 to 8 people and you have 2 people in your business. I'm going to help those 2 people go dual team while I go sponsor the next 8. You're champion. That's the whiteboard magic. Developing and attracting, focusing on where you are, where you're going, create the focus, have the accountability of setting the commitment, writing down the affirmation goal, writing down the list. Identifying great leaders, identify other great leaders. Who am I going to identify that can go dual team? Who can I identify that can go team consulting, right? Because if I help 2 people go team, right? I know he put Dwight here, right? Big shout out to Dwight. Hopefully you're on this call. 1,000 volume. Okay, 1,000 volume minus 5,800. I'm 4,800 volume away from sapphire. Because now I help Dwight go team. You can go team by going dual team quantified. 1 essential on your left, 1 essential on your right. Your team. Hello. This is it. Drop in the chat box. This is it. That's the whiteboard magic. Who can go team? Who can go dual team? And chop volume. Chop it. Chop it. Chop it. I'm going to go help Chantar go champion. I'm going to chop volume. I'm going to go help BJ go champion. I'm going to chop volume. I'm going to go help this person go dual team. I'm going to chop volume. And then I'm going to go chop more volume because I'm going to go sponsor, because that's what I need to do as a leader. I need to go sponsor brand new people in my business. I'm done. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Drop I am a champion if you are a champion. If you're going to do this, only write it if you're really going to drop I am a champion on the chat box. Woo! I am a champion. I can't be out. I got to drop the announcements. Can't be out. I'm going to go back to the computer. Drop I am a champion. I want to see who I am a champion. I want to see it real quick. I want to see Marie, Carrie, Natalie, Josh, Amaya. Ready? Who else? Who's ready to go champion? Drop I am a champion on the chat box. Drop I am a champion on the chat box. This is it, guys. This is it. All right, Xander, I am a champion. Let's go. Who else? Who else is a champion? I want to see it. Drop I am a champion on the chat box if you're ready to go champion this month. You're ready to go champion this one. Look at Tater. Big shout out to Tater. I know we're going to be running out an event over there in Maryland. Big shout out to you. Taylor, we're going to get done. This is it, guys. This is the whiteboard magic. This is how you get it done. So wrapping up here, here's the two announcements. Two announcements. I'm going to do it quick. Oh, I see Alicia. I am a champion. Let's go. Keep making that. As soon as that's the declaration, that's the word that God gave you, right? That's the word that God gave you. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up here with these two announcements. This is what I'm going to do, okay? This is what I'm going to do. Well, the first announcement is already confirmed. We're going to be doing a leadership call with our CVO, Mr. Ivan Tapia, right? Mr. Ivan, it's going to be actually our first call with Ivan. But here's what is going to happen. This is what, you see, to be on this call, you got to at least be dual team qualified. It's going to be dual team qualified and above. So we're going to do this next week. So you can go get dual team qualified right now and participate on this call with Ivan, right? So all you got to do is become dual team qualified. And we're going to have a call with Ivan Tapia. Right before this call, we actually spoke and he said, let's do it. So we're telling you right now, it's confirmed. Ivan Tapia is going to do a call. Our owner, our CEO, to close out January as well, to give you that extra fire, the extra value. He's going to be doing a call for everybody in the organization. Second thing, this is what I'm going to do out of my heart. Out of my heart. I'm going to do this out of my heart for the next 3 people that go champion. So since I'm doing 3, well, I don't know if I should do this. Should I do it? Drop do it on the chat box if I should do this. So we're going to have 10. We're going to have 10 champions. I don't know if I should do it. How many people are dropping do it? Let me see. Drop do it. Drop do it. No, don't drop do it. Do it. All right, for the next 3 champions, this is what I'm going to do. For the next 3. Next 3 people that go champion. You guys can get this done in the next couple of days. We're going to have 10, so it's only for the first 3. And it's by January 31st. So this is only for going champion in January 1st. So February 1st comes, it's by January 31st. I'm going to do $300 into your FL2 app for the first 3 champions that go champion. You go champion this month for the first 3. I'm going to put $300 into your FL2 app for you to trade it with. If you have $400 in your trading account, you have $700. If you have $500, you have $800. For the first 3 out of the 10 champions, because we're going to have 10. We're going to have 10. First 3, I'm putting $300 in your trading account. You know why? Because I know this works. So if we got 27 here on this call, and all 27 do this, if you're a champion, you'll be Sapphire. If you're not a champion, you'll be champion. We got the overview tomorrow, the team overview. How many prospects are you going to have on that call? How many exposures are you going to have on that call? How many exposures? That's going to be the call to promote. We have the team call tomorrow, right? How many exposures are you going to have on that call? You got to make a decision right now, and it starts with getting on the whiteboard. How many people are you going to sponsor? Setting that commitment, affirmation goal, boom, list. Okay, let me break some things down. If you have 2 people in your organization, first goal should be help those 2 people go dual team qualified. Help them go dual team qualified, right? It's going to solve it all. It's going to help you chop down volume for the remaining volume that you need in order for you to hit the next rank. So that's it, guys. We're going to have a call. We're have a call with Ivan Tapia. First 3 champions by January 31st. You go champion. I'm putting $300 into your trading account. Love you guys. See you guys on the next calls. And I hope you guys really loved this call. Let's go. I don't know how to end it, but you can put a song. You put Lions in the Wild. It's going to fire it up. Get them fired up. Lions in the Wild. Lions in the Wild. We got to celebrate it. We got to celebrate it right now. We got to celebrate it. Bang, bang.
I just wanted a slice, but had to spend more for free delivery.
At AT&T, you don't need to spend more to get our best.
Go. Already done.
Looking out for a new horizon. Reaching out, I can almost see the place. Holding on with a heart that's frozen in the dark, but I am not afraid. No, I am not afraid. We'll be free, but I don't know where we're going. You and me, this is our life and we own it. Like lions in the wild. Like lions in the wild. Like lions in the looking out at the open skyline. Reaching out, I can almost touch the place where the lost ones find their freedom in the dark, but I am not afraid. No, I am not afraid. We'll be free, but I don't know where we're going. You and me, this is our life and we own it. Like lions in the wild. Like lions in the wild. Like lions in the wild. Like lions.